Okay, so these are some commands for port specifications. Suppose you want to specify a range of port. In the previous session, we talk about like what particular you can define your port scanning. So if you don't include any type of port specification technique in the command of Nmap, then it will always scan top 1000 TCP ports. That is already we talk about this yesterday. So suppose if you want to add some port, like if you want to scan a single port or if you want to scan a range of ports, so then you need to use a option called -p. And p is option of, you can use it to define the port. And when you use it, like suppose this, see the first command. So in this command I'm using 21. So that means I only want to scan a single port on the particular target. Suppose you need to add more targets, then you can follow the target specification commands. If you have a range of IPs, if you have multiple IPs, if you have like a CIDR format, if you have a list of targets, so then you can follow accordingly. But -p is used to define the port numbers. Then using -p, you can also define like a range of port. If you have a range of ports, then you can use that option also, like -p space 1 to 100. Then your range of ports will be defined. Now if you want to scan multiple ports like the TCP and UDP ports, then you can use like p. Again, the p is used for port specifications, but then you can define the UDP category ports from capital U, and then the capital T for TCP ports. In TCP ports, I particularly added like the range from 21 to 50 and 80. So you can define that. Now, if you want to scan all port, like not particularly a range of port or particularly any single port or multiple ports, but all ports from 0 to 65,535. So you can use the option called -p, that is used for port specification, but you need to define all port. So what you can use, you can define this in two ways. First, use hyphen. So see the fourth command, nmap space -p hyphen, and then your target name. So your all ports will be scanned. And also you can define the range also. So you can define the range from 1 to or 0 to 65,535. So your all ports will be scanned. Now, if you use a option called -F, that means you only want to scan top 100 TCP ports. That makes the scan very fast, because if you suppose if you don't provide or give any port specification, then the top 1000 TCP ports will be scanned. But if you only want to scan top 100 ports like the HTTP, FTP, SSH, Telnet or RDP, MySQL, right? These kinds of top ports, top 100 ports, then you can use the option -F. If you want to increase the range of top ports, then you can use an option called -top ports, and then define the number you want to scan. So in the default scan, the top 1000 port will be scanned, but if you use that option, then 2000 port is scanned, because I provide the 2000. So if you want to scan 5000, top 5000, then you can define something like this, and map your target, then -top ports space 5000. So your 5000 port will be scanned. Now there are some more commands, like these are the some more things which you can do with the help of nmap, which is service version detection. Like you particularly running a technique, a port scanning technique on your target, but you want to capture or also want to identify like the whatever service particularly you are getting it, you want a version also, like you want to detect the version also. then you can use these options. So the very first flag option we have is -sv. That means scan with version. And see here I didn't include any port specification command. The target is also a single target. So top 1000 TCP, any like TCP SYN or TCP connect scan will be performed. The default scan will be performed, but the result whatever I'm getting, I'm also will get the versions also. So that -sv is used to attempt to determine the version of the service running on those open ports. Then there is one more option which you can include in your scan, which is -A, because if you include the capital A, so it basically do four things. It enables the OS detection, enables the version detection, script scanning is also running, and trace route will also happen. So with the help of a single command, a single option, you can basically perform four things. And that scan is known as aggressive scan. Okay. If you do not want to include -A, then separately you can use the option for OS detection, for version detection, for script scanning and trace route. So there are different flags available for performing those four things. But if you want to include or if you want to perform all of them using a single option, then the aggressive scan will be used. And the option is -A. Then if you want to use like this is another version of -sv. So if you use -sv space hyphen version hyphen all, so basically it will increase the intensity level 9. When you perform the Nmap scan, this particular Nmap using the scanning intensity level from 0 to 9, the lower intensity you will use, the lower chances of finding the correct result, but the scan will be very high. But if you increase the intensity level, so the chances of correctness will be high, but the scan will be slower. So we are using the option -s capital V space hyphen version hyphen all to enable the intensity level 9, so the higher possibility of correctness, and the scan will be slower, of course. Okay, now there are some more options which you can include in your scan, so let's talk about them also. OS detection. Suppose you want to detect the operating system, then what option you can use? -O. See, these are some separate option I'm talking about. But if you want to include in a single command, suppose you need to perform the OS operating system detection, you want to perform the service version detection, and you want to define or scan the all ports, if you want to include the range of IPs, right, target or list of targets, then you can include the option accordingly in your single command. So your command will be like in your command will have everything, every option particularly, and in the last you will provide your target. So you can use -O, -s capital V, small s capital T, like scan type. So anything you can include. Okay, so the operating system detection command is -O. If you use this option, then the remote operating system detection using a TCP IP stack fingerprinting, so that will be performed on your given target by the Nmap, and it will particularly basically detect the operating system that are running on your target. Similarly, you can use the other version of that command also, which is a -O OS scan -guess. Then this particularly command, if you include this option, then it makes the Nmap guesses more aggressively. So your OS detection will be performed, but now Nmap launch or try to guess the operating system more aggressively. So that command is useful. You can use this. Now, if you want to increase the timing of your scan, and performance, then you can use the option -T, and then you can define the intensity level. So there are level of 0 to 5, and your default level is 3. So whenever you particularly run the Nmap, the three intensity or perform like three intensity or three speed will be performed. So if you want to slow down your scan, then you can use the 0, 1, 2. Or if you want an insane speed, then you can use 4 or 5. So suppose like 4 or 5 is used whenever you have a large network with like they can handle a large volume of traffic, then only we are particularly using the T4 or T5. Otherwise the normal scan we will be used with the T3, and this is also the default speed, so we will not particularly use that flag. But if you want to slow down your scan, then you can use the T0, T1 or T2. Okay, so keep that thing in your mind, like do not use T4 or T5. T4 or T5 cannot be used on the live applications. So this is a disclaimer. Do not, I repeat, do not use the T4 or T5 on any particular target until you have a large network that can handle that much amount of traffic, because T5 uses aggressive speed scan and T4 aggressive scan, T5 is insane speed. Now there are some more commands, like the third section of Nmap, which is vulnerability scanning. So Nmap, we talk about two sections: host discovery, which which will be used to discover the hosts, then port scanning, which will be used to discover the open ports, closed ports, and some relatable informations like service version, operating system, increasing the speed of your scan, right? Filtered ports, something like this. But the third part of the Nmap is particularly used whenever you want Nmap to perform the vulnerability analysis. So Nmap is also used to perform the vulnerability analysis, and then NSE is used, which is Nmap scripting engine. So in NSE scripting engine, that is the particularly integrated part of Nmap that can detect vulnerabilities, check some misconfigurations, scan some CVEs. And what is the meaning of CVEs? Common vulnerability exposure. And it can identify the weak services also. Okay, so if you want to include the NSE with your Nmap, then you need to particularly check out this particular directory. So in this directory, all the NSE scripts are stored. The name of directory is user share. You will find it under user share Nmap scripts. When you visit the directory, all the NSE scripts will be listed. So ls I'm using. So if I use ls, then all the NSE scripts will be listed. Then you can select the particular script on your target to perform the vulnerability scanning. But if you want to run the basic scan, then what you can use the option -S capital C. This option is basically launch the basic vulnerability scan. It can find the SMB vulnerabilities, some HTTP misconfigurations, SSL issues, and some known CVs. So whenever you want to run the NSE on your target, like the objective of running the NSE on your target is we particularly want Nmap to analyze the vulnerabilities, some common vulnerabilities, some common CVEs, known CVEs, some common misconfigurations like that. So we particularly want to use NSE, the part of Nmap on our target. So the option -S capital C is used. This is the option that will particularly start the NSE on your target. So default scripts will be selected, and the scan will be performed, and then you will get the result. Now, the question in your mind, what if you want to include a certain type of scripts? You do not want to run the default scan, but like uh, some FTP scripts or some HTTP scripts or some common CVEs types of script. So we have some options. Yes, we have. So the options are these. The option is hyphen hyphen script. This particular option is used to define single script, multiple scripts, wildcard scripts, something like this. So if you want to run your scan with the default scripts, then use the option hyphen S capital C. But if you want to scan your target with single scripts, then use the option hyphen hyphen script. And I created some scenarios. So using a script, suppose you put default, then the default NSE scripts will be chosen and your scan will be performed. This particular scan is useful for discovery and safe scan. Then if you use banner, then we can particularly provide the script name. Like the banner is the script name. You can put any other script also. And where you can find your scripts? Via visiting this Nmap scripting directly. So if you include, see the third command, HTTP star, that means you are particularly scanning with a wildcard. So all the HTTP scripts will be used now on your target and the scan will be performed. So suppose you want to scan with FTP, then you can use like this, like hyphen hyphen script equals to FTP star. Then if you want to add two scripts, multiple scripts, then use those script names by separating or using comma. Now there are some more command for some other purposes like firewall, IDS evasion, or for spoofing purpose. So there is an option available called hyphen small f, that is known as requested scan. So it is only including the pin scan, and it particularly crafts some tiny or fragmented packets. So it is whenever you use hyphen small f on your scan, so the packet filters is particularly not detecting the scan because the Nmap is now using some small IP packets. So it is harder for the detection for IDS or firewall. So if you want to bypass the restriction of firewall or IDS, suppose they are blocking your scan, then you can include hyphen small f in your command. There is one more option you can use, which is hyphen hyphen MTU, maximum transmission unit. So you can basically set your own offset size, like the packet size. So right now I use 32, but you can decrease it or increase it. Now the option hyphen D, that is used for decoy purpose. Okay, so if you want to scan some, if you want to scan your target with some spoofed IPs, basically want to use the decoy technique, so then you can basically provide the IPs, spoofed IPs first with the option hyphen D, then your target IP or target domain name. So these three things can be used to bypass the firewall or IDS, or for spoofing purpose. Then if you want to store the output in your file, then you can use the option hyphen on. So there are two particular options, there are many, but like these two is particularly useful. So if you want to save your output to a file, then you can use option hyphen small o capital N, then provide a text file. But if you want to save in XML format, then you can use OX and then provide the file name in the .xml format, output.xml, or name something else. So your output will be stored. These two commands are particularly used for output purpose. Okay, So these all are the commands for Nmap, for output purpose, for firewall bypasses purpose, for vulnerability scanning with NAC, not particularly using default, but with some selected scripts, the default NAC script based scan, the timing and performance based flags, operating system detection flags, the service version detection options, port specification commands. Right, so these all are the commands for Nmap, and now you can use the Nmap in very effective way, because in 2 days, particularly in 2 sessions, I explained every option, every command we have uh, for scanning purpose, for host discovery purpose, or for port scanning purpose. So you can improve your Nmap game strong with the help of or including those commands. Include those command in your scan and see the result or see the improved results. Okay, now if you want to ask me anything related to Nmap, then you can use it. Anything you want to ask me related to Nmap, or any particular command, if you are not particularly able to understand it, then you can ask me right now. I'm observing or monitoring your comments. So hello Krishna, hello Monica. So in starting few minutes I forgot to turn on my mic, so like the opening script opening things will be missed. Sorry for that. In opening particularly I am telling like what is we basically covered so far. Okay, so the next session we will be covering the next tool in our Blue Team Toolkit series, which will be Nuclei. So this is the second tool we will be choose to cover in this Blue Team Toolkit series. So particularly we are going with the section wise. So let me show you very quickly. We are following we started with the day one and learning about like what particular tool we will going to see or we will use in the blue teaming. So the very first tool for network discovery and mapping, the Nmap. So first we talk about the Nmap, the network scanner. The second tool we have is Nuclei, that is a go based or template based YAML template based vulnerability scanner that you need to install in Kali and can operate with multiple commands or multiple options and can detect vulnerabilities at very ease. Then the third tool we have is Mass Scan, then the Angry IP, Zen, ZMap, Shodan, and more. So first we are picking the category of network discovery and then we will move with the other tools. So in this section, the Nmap is now completed in 2 sessions, and now we will be covering Nuclei in the next session, which will be a vulnerability scanner. Okay, so this is day 3 of covering the remaining part of Nmap, or the Nmap scripting, NSE vulnerability scanning, or some other port specification target, or like firewall commands, output commands, or something like this. Any particular uh, question you want to ask, you can ask me right now. Okay, so Krishna is basically asking something. What is the default offset packet size? Okay, so in my command, I use the 32, right? So now the default size is 8 bytes. 8 bytes per fragment. Like if you know the packet headers, so particularly each fragment carries 8 byte of data. Okay, so if you want to use the MTU option, then the MTU fragmented size should be in multiple of 8. Like you can use 8, 16, 32, 48, 64. So multiple of 8 you can use it. Okay. Any other particular question? Please share the document. So okay, so the document is already available in the resources drive. Like whenever the session ended, the document is particularly available in the drive, the resources drive, and the drive link is available in the video description. In video description you will find out a link to Blue Team Toolkit series resources, and when you find the drive link you will open it, and there is a resources session slides are there, and in the session slides you will find out the document. Everything is designed, you just have to access the proper link. Okay, so the day 3 session slides will be uploaded tonight, or yes, tomorrow morning. Any other new question? Okay, I'm not getting any new question, so let's end up today's thing. So today we learned about the rest part of Nmap, and in the next day, in the next session, day 4, we'll be particularly talking about the nuclei, the vulnerability scanner. So in Nmap, we learned about the port scanning, the NSE, the firewall evasion, output options. So thank you everyone for joining day 3. If you haven't subscribed the channel yet, so make sure you subscribe it. Make sure you like the video, hit the like button if you really enjoyed watching this series or the content that are available on Zero Day Vault YouTube channel. If you want to become a member on my premium content, then you are more than welcome. Find the join button in the channel page, and you can become via joining you can become a member. I'm dropping new VAPT videos this weekend for the premium members. Like the 4 videos are already up, and on the weekend I'm dropping 5 new more videos, including the SSRF attack, the XSS vulnerabilities, open redirect, HTML injection, and furthermore. Okay, so you can watch that content also. Also for premium members, there are network pen testing related videos are already there, so you can access them also. Check out the other videos of this channel, share your thoughts on LinkedIn about the series, if what you are particularly getting it, or getting some knowledge, or that particular series is helping in your career, in your journey. So you can always share your thoughts. Thoughts are welcome basically, so I will get the idea like how you are enjoying this series or not. So let's rejoin on the next session. Till then, stay secure, stay happy, learn today, lead tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.